Most people think what makes Caitlin Clark special is that she can shoot from further away than almost anyone else on the planet. And while that is true, it is also the least interesting thing about her. Because shooting range is the symptom. What actually produces it, the training, the neuroscience, the mental architecture, the physical foundation that had to be built over more than 2 decades, that is the story nobody is telling. And once you understand what is actually happening when Caitlin Clark releases a basketball from 38 feet away, you will never watch her the same way again. She is 6 feet tall, plays point guard for the Indiana Fever, and is regarded as one of the greatest female collegiate players in history twice, named National College Basketball Player of the Year at Iowa and the NCAA Division I all-time leading scorer. She has a Nike signature shoe deal. She is the reason sold-out arenas started happening in women's basketball. But none of that explains what is actually going on inside her body and brain when she plays. So let's get into it. Start with the shot itself, because that is where most people's curiosity begins. The Athletic described her shooting form as optimal, if not actually perfect, and sports scientists have a very specific reason for saying that. Research shows that a basketball should enter the rim at a 45-degree angle, with the center of the ball approximately 11 inches past the front of the rim toward the back half of the 18-inch diameter hoop. This precise arc minimizes variance and maximizes the margin for error on each shot. Clark's mechanics produce exactly this trajectory almost every single time, from distances that most professional athletes would not even attempt. We are talking about shots launched from 30, 35, 38 feet away, well beyond the NBA three-point line, that go in at the rate that most players make shots from 15 feet. The physics of that is genuinely difficult to comprehend, but here is the part that the highlight reels never show you. Her training integrates high-volume shooting using a machine called the gun by Shoot Away, which automates ball return so she can take shot after shot in rapid succession without stopping to retrieve the ball. This is not casual shooting practice. This is systematic, relentless repetition designed to build what neuroscientists call motor programs, deeply encoded movement patterns in the brain that eventually become automatic. When a movement pattern is practiced enough, it stops requiring conscious thought and becomes executed almost entirely by the cerebellum, the part of the brain responsible for coordination and balance. This is why elite athletes describe being in a flow state during peak performance. They are not thinking their way through what they are doing. Their brain has offloaded the execution to a lower-level automatic system so that conscious attention can be directed at reading the game instead. Clark has shot enough basketballs across enough years that her release, her arc, her follow-through, all of it fires automatically, without conscious instruction, even under extreme defensive pressure. Now add the physical foundation underneath that. Her training combines compound lifts, including squats and deadlifts, with functional core work and single-leg stability drills. This matters more than most people realize, because shooting from 38 feet away is not just an arm action. It is a full-body kinetic chain event. The power originates in the legs, transfers through the core, travels up through the torso and shoulder, and exits through the wrist and fingertips in a precisely timed sequence. If any link in that chain is weak, the shot breaks down. Her strength training exists specifically to make every link in that chain as efficient as possible, so that when she catches the ball beyond the arc with a defender closing out on her, her body can generate the necessary force in under half a second without sacrificing accuracy. Then there is the court vision, which might actually be her most underrated skill. Writers and analysts have noted that her court vision appears 2 steps ahead, that she seems to be reading the game at a level that sets her apart from most professional players. This is not intuition. It is a trainable perceptual skill called anticipatory cognition. Expert athletes do not just react faster than beginners, they process visual information differently. Research on elite basketball players shows that they fixate on different cues than novices do. Where a beginner watches the ball, an elite player scans body angles, hip positions, defensive weight distribution information that allows them to predict what is about to happen before it happens. Clark has spent so many hours in high-level competitive basketball that her visual system has been trained to extract the most predictive information from any given play situation faster than her opponents can generate it. The assist numbers are the statistical evidence of that. Her ability to find teammates in positions they did not know they would be in yet is a direct product of that perceptual training. But here is the part that most separates good players from players like Caitlin Clark, and it has nothing to do with physical training. She works with a performance coach named Brett Ledbetter, and their foundational principle is that how a player responds to adversity is the most important thing they can develop after the fundamentals. Clark trains her mind to avoid cycling through negative thoughts after mistakes, which allows her to shoot with more confidence and more freedom. And she has described her own approach in very specific terms. When she is in a shooting slump, which happens to every player including her mentality is precisely this: just keep putting them up. Don't overthink it. Don't hold on to it. Don't aim it. Just shoot it. That is not a casual attitude. That is a carefully constructed psychological framework designed to prevent what sports psychologists call performance anxiety choking, the phenomenon where conscious attention interferes with an automatic skill and disrupts it. When Clark says don't aim it, she is describing the neuroscience of expert performance. Aiming engages conscious control. Shooting engages the automatic motor program. The automatic motor program is far more accurate under pressure than conscious conscious control ever can be. Clark repeatedly describes how practice helps her feel prepared for the moment, reducing anxiety during big games by giving her concrete evidence that she has already done the work. This is a well-documented psychological mechanism. Confidence in elite performance is not a feeling you generate through positive thinking. It is a rational conclusion drawn from evidence of preparation. She is not calming herself down with affirmations. She is reminding herself of documented proof that she has already executed this exact movement pattern hundreds of thousands of times. That evidence makes confidence the logical position rather than the optimistic one. And then there is the comeback story layered on top of all of this, because what happened in 2025 and 2026 adds another dimension to everything. She was sidelined for most of 2025 with injury and described the experience of rehabilitation as mentally taxing in ways people don't always realize, specifically the point where you've done all the physical work and the remaining barrier is trusting your body again. After 9 months, she returned in April 2026 and within weeks was named MVP of the FIBA World Cup qualification tournament, averaging over 11 points and 6 assists per game as Team USA went 5-0. The fact that elite performance can be rebuilt after extended absence is itself a testament to the permanence of the neural pathways that years of deliberate practice create. Muscle memory, despite the name, lives in the brain, and what the brain has encoded deeply enough does not simply disappear during time away. It waits. What Caitlin Clark represents is not some mystical natural gift that arrived fully formed. What she represents is the output of a very specific combination of deliberate repetition, physical foundation building, perceptual training, and psychological architecture applied consistently across more than 2 decades. The 38-foot shot is real, but the machine that produces it, the training, the neuroscience, the mental game, the physical chain, that is what it actually takes. And understanding that changes the question from how does she do that to what would happen if more athletes trained the way she does.